Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we are looking at what is arguably the most anticipated entertainment release of the entire decade. But here's the thing you really need to keep in mind. GTA 6 isn't just supposed to look better than GTA 5. We aren't just talking about a visual upgrade or a shiny new coat of paint here. Based on what we know for sure from Rockstar's official announcements and footage, we are looking at a full-blown mechanical revolution. The goal is to make this world feel entirely alive, even when you aren't actively running a mission. So we're going to break down exactly how Rockstar is aiming to achieve that monumental leap in gameplay. I want to start with this quote because it really hits the nail on the head and captures the core thesis of what we're looking at today. For a long time in open-world games, the environment has mostly just acted as a scripted backdrop, right? You drive through it, you shoot in it, but fundamentally it's just a stage. Well, Rockstar appears to be shifting away from that entirely. They're pushing the series toward a highly detailed, deeply reactive open world where Vice City isn't just a map you navigate, it's a living ecosystem you actually exist within. It's a place where things happen whether you're there to see them or not.
Okay, let's dive into this. To truly understand this massive leap from past games, we're going to cover 5 main things today. First, a living, reactive world. Second, smarter NPCs and police. Third, upgraded physics and movement. Fourth, the Jason and Lucia dynamic. And finally, number 5, separating fact from fiction.
Starting off with pillar number 1, a living, reactive world. This is all about how Vice City breathes and reacts. You know how in previous games, NPCs kind of just felt like simple background props, like you bump into them, they yell a canned line, and run away? Well, in GTA 6, they're really stepping up as entities with complex behaviors that dynamically react to the world around them. Characters are expected to interact with objects, locations, and each other in super detailed ways. What this means for you is that environmental interactions are going to create these wild, unexpected, unscripted moments. Imagine an NPC sprinting for cover because a thunderstorm suddenly rolls in, or a bystander actually picking up an item you dropped during a chaotic getaway. You could literally just be walking down the street, not even on a mission, and a completely dynamic event unfolds right in front of you. Suddenly, you've got this organic, wildly memorable story worth sharing, driven entirely by the world's underlying systems. Picture this. You're seamlessly moving from dense, gridlocked city streets out to sprawling rural areas, sun-soaked beaches, and complex waterways. And the wildlife and civilian behavior is dynamically shifting around you the entire time. Vice City and the surrounding areas are expected to offer vastly different environments. The culture, the density, and the overall pace of the world actually change based on where you're standing. With this level of improved behavioral mapping across such incredibly diverse terrain, simple exploration is totally transformed. It's no longer just something you do to kill time between missions, right? Exploring this massive map actually becomes a core, captivating reason to boot up the game. Moving on to pillar number 2, smarter NPCs and police, the evolution of chaos. Okay, we all remember the older wanted models. Cops practically spawning out of thin air right behind you just seconds after you committed a crime, in the absolute middle of nowhere. I mean, it was a ton of fun for sure. But it was predictable. Now Rockstar is introducing a dynamic reaction system. So instead of simply materializing, the police response is based on what actually happened. Witnesses, specific getaway vehicles, and the exact location of the crime are all going to deeply matter. If nobody is around to see you commit a crime, the response is going to be entirely different than if you pull some crazy stunt in a crowded intersection. This essentially creates a brand new cause and effect loop for us. You move from the initial action and chaos to the environmental and witness reactions, and it all culminates in a strategic escape. And honestly, that last part is absolutely key. You can't just hide under a bridge for 3 minutes until a magical blinking star timer runs out anymore. Because of those intelligent witness reactions, escaping requires actual, genuine strategy. You might need to swap cars, creatively break line of sight, or really consider the terrain you're driving into. For players who love that classic GTA chaos, having to strategically outsmart the police rather than just outrun their spawn radius, it's going to completely change the experience. Next up is pillar number 3, upgraded physics and movement, feeling connected to the environment. So the animations for walking, running, climbing, swimming, and fighting are getting a massive overhaul. Promotional footage has already shown that Jason and Lucia move with a real, tangible sense of weight and momentum. But why does this actually matter for gameplay? Well, better animations aren't just for looking good in cinematic screenshots. When your character carries physical weight, that momentum dictates how fast you can turn a corner while sprinting, or how quickly you can dive behind a concrete barrier during a shootout. Every single step feels grounded. Basic actions like taking cover, stumbling over debris, or just navigating a cluttered alleyway are going to feel significantly more immersive and responsive.
It really roots you right into the world.
And of course, this physical connection extends directly into the vehicles, which are undeniably the beating heart of any Grand Theft Auto game. The vehicle physics are being pushed further than ever before. We're talking detailed interiors, improved damage models, and highly believable driving behavior. But most importantly, the realistic suspension physics will dynamically interact with those vastly different terrains we talked about earlier. Look, taking a heavy muscle car off-road into a rural swamp is going to physically feel entirely different than sliding a sleek sports car across rain-slick city streets. This dramatically alters the dynamics of any chase you get into. Driving becomes an incredibly satisfying, tactical part of the journey itself, rather than just a mindless way to get from point A to point B.
Bringing us to pillar number 4, the Jason and Lucia dynamic, changing how missions work. Instead of feeling like separate characters operating in isolated, loosely connected storylines, GTA 6 introduces a true partnership. This relationship is built on deep cooperation, the ability to seamlessly switch perspectives, and executing coordinated actions. This has the potential to fundamentally shift the mission structure we saw back in GTA 5. By leaning heavily into cooperative gameplay mechanics, the entire way you plan, approach, and execute high-stakes heists or narrative missions is going to be entirely different. You aren't just managing one perspective anymore, you're orchestrating a shared objective. Which brings us to a really exciting prospect. Missions could become much more dynamic. If Rockstar fully leverages this two-character system, allowing you to coordinate Jason and Lucia effectively, missions will be able to take full advantage of all those reactive world mechanics we just explored. Imagine this. One character purposefully causes a massive distraction that triggers the new intelligent witness reaction system, pulling all the police away, while the other character strategically utilizes the updated movement physics to infiltrate a lockdown location. The sheer possibilities for dynamic, multi-layered missions are absolutely massive. It basically turns every heist into a high-octane puzzle. And finally, pillar number 5, fact versus fiction. Let's manage those expectations. Look, it is incredibly easy to get swept up in the gaming hype cycle, right? On one hand, we have confirmed facts drawn directly from Rockstar's official footage and announcements, which is exactly what we've based today's explainer on. But on the other hand, we have an endless sea of viral claims, unofficial leaks, and rampant, unverified community speculation. As the launch gets closer and the anticipation reaches an absolute boiling point, it is crucial that we don't treat every anonymous online rumor as a confirmed gameplay mechanic. Stick to the officially confirmed systems to keep your expectations grounded in reality. So, we've covered a massive shift today in how open-world games can operate, from a deeply reactive, living ecosystem and intelligent police forces, to heavy, immersive physics and a groundbreaking cooperative protagonist system. So, I want to leave you with this final thought and turn the excitement over to you. Which new gameplay feature are you absolutely most excited to try? Is it exploring the intense dynamic between Jason and Lucia, strategizing to outsmart that new police system, testing out the realistic vehicle physics on the backroads of Vice City, or just getting lost, exploring that massive living world? Think about how these features might change your personal playstyle. I really hope this explainer helped clarify the massive mechanical leaps we're about to experience.